You know this lady. She's the host and producer of Extraordinary Women TV, Shannon Skinner. The extraordinary Shannon Skinner, I should say. I mean, you're not just hosting it, you're producing it, you're finding those guests, you're doing all that hard work, right?
And it is hard work, yeah, but I love it. You know, it's a show that I started as a live web TV show back in September 2010, which is how it got its start. And I've interviewed hundreds of women to date,
wow.
and it's been a fabulous experience.
Is this then the fifth season?
Well, for Rogers, it's the third season.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just launched, and this season we went out on location, and we've got a big focus on women artists this season. Not just, but I feel that artists are really often underrepresented. So we went out and talked to a number of artists at some of the art shows, and we talked about their passions and their challenges and how they overcome them and how they keep going with their art and make a living.
How on earth do they do that? We've got a clip from the first show of this new season, and I think you're talking about artists in this very one, right?
That's right, yeah. It's, we were at the Toronto Outdoor Art Exhibition and talked to a number of the visual artists, painters, jewelry designer, a dancer, and they all had something in common, and they're all following their passion, and they love what they do.
Let's see it. Here's a little taste of Extraordinary Women TV.
You're watching Extraordinary Women TV. I'm here with dancer, choreographer, and Nuit Blanche programmer, Jen Goodwin. You're performing at Nathan Phillips Square for the Toronto Outdoor Art Exhibition. Tell us a little bit about your art as a performing artist.
Well, most of my work is movement-based, so I would consider myself a dance artist, and it deals with choreography, sometimes text, emotions bubbling under the surface of the physicality of what I show. In some cases, it also involves music and rhythm. In this piece I'm presenting at Nathan Phillips Square, it's called If I Should Stumble. I'm working.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah,
that looked like a good event that you were at.
Oh, it was loads of fun.
So the whole premise of the show is you're focusing on women who have become successful in whatever it is that they're doing, right? And is it their definition of success, or have they achieved success in the broader sense that we think of as, you know, they're making a lot of money or whatever? How do you determine who is a good fit for the show?
Well, when I started the show, I knew I had to come up with my own definition of what extraordinary is, and an extraordinary woman. And she's a woman who has the courage to listen to her heart and take inspired action. So she has a desire in her heart and she can act on it. And the women that I interview, they do come from all walks of life and all pursuits. The one thing that they have in common is that they have a desire in their heart, and they found that courage to make it happen. So, you know, there was Jen Goodwin that I spoke to at the exhibition. Of course, just before I was on the show, we had dancers here too, and they were, you could smiling a lot, and you could tell it's a passion, it's a love that they have. But it all takes courage to start whatever you're doing and to keep going as well.
That's right, because it's not always easy. And when you're faced with what can be a frustrating amount of old boy, that old boys network, for women it's a bit tougher. They have to really elbow their way through sometimes to get the success and to be an advocate for their own business or idea, right?
And that's true. And we're seeing more and more women supporting each other. There's a massive grassroots movement. You see it on the internet, see it on Twitter and Facebook, of women right around the globe really creating communities and organizations to support each other. And that just says that there's a need, a real hunger for it. And so it's really nice to see women getting out and just supporting each other in whatever it is that we do.
It's nice that the new technology can help us bring out the best in ourselves and in others.
That's it, exactly.
We've got another clip. This one's from show 4. So this one hasn't aired yet, right?
That's right, it has not aired yet.
A preview. Tell us what's in this one.
So in this clip, we were at the Hats and Horseshoes party for the Queen's Plate, and I'd never been to one before. It was loads of fun. I've never seen so many women walking around in fabulous fascinators and hats. But we went there and spoke to some of the organizations that were involved, and one of the charities is Rethink Breast Cancer. So we had a talk to her with her about why she founded that, and that's what this clip is that we're about to talk about.
More extraordinary women.
Now, one last question for you. If you had one piece of advice that you could offer any young woman out there who would like to start an organization, any kind of organization, she's got sort of a cause in her, and she's got that she wants to bring out to the world, what would it be?
Well, I think if you have the passion and the enthusiasm and the energy, just go for it. You know, I had a lot of people, you know, just getting behind me because I was so passionate. I think your passion is really what sells you and what can, you know, instill confidence in other people to get behind your cause. And so my advice is just let your passion run wild and enjoy the ride.
And that's what you were saying. Your passion is what moves you forward.
It's the fuel that keeps us going. And when you know what you're passionate about, you can harness it and just keep doing more and more of it. That's the key. Now, I think sometimes we fall out of our passions. You know, so when you know what your passion is,
Or someone tells us we shouldn't have that
and
as
that's,
a passion.
that's actually, and that happens too. And then we shut down. And then fear comes up. I mean, really what's coming up is fear, and how are we going to do this, and how are we going to make it happen, how are we going to earn a living. And we live in you know, our world is filled with unknowns. So it, again, sort of, it's the courage, it's bravery of taking that step. And sometimes, in some cases, it's really for a woman making that very first phone call. When she's launching a career. That might be the hardest thing she's ever done in her entire life, and it takes courage to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because you just, the rejection from the other end
Yeah.
is almost paralyzing.
It can be
Or
for
the,
many, yeah.
the anticipation of rejection. So I can tell that all of these people you've talked to over the years have really left their mark on you. What are some of the key things you've learned?
Well, I have taken away quite a bit actually from doing this show. But I think it's the resiliency of the human spirit. If I can distill it down to something, it's resilience. There are so many stories, I hear so many stories about success, how entrepreneurs have launched their businesses and created millions of dollars. Or how somebody has overcome a health challenge and managed to, you know, pursue a dream. But it's resilience, I think, that I find really very fascinating, and how people can overcome that. You know, whether it's a woman who has given birth to triplets who have cerebral palsy and has harnessed that to create an organization that goes on to help children with neurological disorders. I mean, it's the resilience of how you overcome that, and then how you create a gift for others through this.
So tune in to get inspired. Rogers TV, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. You can watch Extraordinary Women TV with the wonderful Shannon Skinner. For a repeat schedule and more info, go to rogerstv.com. We'll be right back.